Good morning, and thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday. I'm Libby Dowsett. We have a weather impact alert for you this morning. The National Weather Service has issued a red flag warning for east of the Cascades, right, Corey?
Yes, that's exactly right, Libby. Good morning to you and those of you watching. This is our watches and warnings map, the red flag warning. You can see indicated in red, covering lots of area along central and eastern Oregon. That includes LeGrand, Baker City, Burns, Madras also included. And that goes into effect at 11 and it lasts until this evening. And that's mainly because with the gusty winds, relatively low humidity, and just the conditions we've been seeing, it increases the likelihood for fire starts. And so we want to take precautions, be aware of that. Also an air quality alert in place for eastern Oregon, or portions rather near Canby and east of Salem. That lasts until noon today. Looking at our temperatures right now, sitting in the mid 60s in many spots, low 60s in others, including Tigard as well as Sherwood, but mid 60s in southwest Washington, namely, including the Rose City, where we're at 65 degrees, cloud cover overhead for us out there. You can see really from our Providence Park camera just how thick the clouds are at this time, and it's really going to stick around for us not only in Portland but in southwest Washington and near the coast for the majority of the morning. And that's mainly because we do have a weak system that's making its way in. You can see the clouds out there in Sherwood. This is a look at futurecast. Notice as we get to around 9-10 this morning, that's when we do have some sprinkles in off the coast. But fast forward things even further in the evening hours, it starts to clear up. Lots of sunshine in mid 70s today for our highs, but I have your full forecast in just a minute.
Thank you, Corey. The red flag warning, not what firefighters in Central Oregon wanted to hear. That's especially true near Warm Springs, where crews have made progress fighting the bench fire. This morning, Jake Holter takes us there.
It was hellacious.
Enzo Gonzalez had no idea this year's trip to his mom's house would be the last time he saw it standing. Saturday night, the house engulfed by the bench fire after it jumped Highway 26.
As soon as I stepped out, barn is on fire. Like the fire was around us. We are surrounded, so everybody's grabbing animals, trying to get in the house or trying to get in the car, pull out. The horses were stuck, so I had to run over to the horses, let them out.
All 3 horses survived, but with significant burns. Gonzalez says thankfully all their loved ones and animals survived, but the memories in the house are gone.
We got back up there and about 98% of the land was gone. Photo albums and quilts and all that stuff is gone. So pretty much everything from, my mom's past is gone.
Gonzalez starting a GoFundMe to help his mom rebuild. Since the weekend, firefighters have made significant strides in containing the bench fire.
We're looking really good here, creating lines around. That's what the black is, and that's where these are their containment lines.
On Wednesday, containment was only at 9%. Friday, it's 32% contained.
Starting to focus in on here. Don't want this to cross the river. We've been putting in fire line to protect that from happening. The past couple of nights was feeling really strong there.
Nearly 900 people actively working to fight these flames. The biggest challenge with this fire, the wind.
That we have to adapt to when the winds change, and that can happen throughout the day. That's not today it's one way, the next it's another way. It's changing.
Firefighters staying intense at Madras High School, a community thankful for their hard work. Jake Holter, KGW News.
And this morning, containment on the bench fire is reported at 47%. Meantime, the question of how to pay for the firefighting efforts is weighing heavy on lawmakers. FEMA has denied federal funds for 2 of the fires. Alma McCarty found out both Democrats and Republicans want that decision explained and reversed.
On Friday, FEMA authorized the use of federal funds, fire management assistance grants, to combat the Fox Fire burning in Baker County, Oregon. Federal officials finding it threatened to cause such destruction as would constitute a major disaster, the 4th such declaration this fire season.
This is an unprecedented fire season, right? And we're not even in August yet, and we still have 2 months of fire season to go.
However, 2 major wildfires, the East Evans Creek in the Rogue Valley and the Roe Creek Complex in Central Oregon, were denied this FEMA funding, stunning lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Senators Wyden and Merkley questioning why, in a letter to FEMA, arguing both wildfires met the threshold for aid, and Oregon needs everything it can to fight them.
We're working to mobilize every asset possible in terms of both firefighters and fire equipment. I'm very concerned about the Forest Service running out of funding, so I'm working with Secretary Rollins, the Agricultural Secretary, to address that.
State Senator David Brock Smith, the Republican nominee for the U.S. Senate running against Senator Merkley, also demanding answers from FEMA.
We need to make sure that we have the clarity within FEMA and the FMAG process because we are going to be using more of that, unfortunately, as we move forward with this fire season.
He's asking for a reversal on the call to deny funding, writing there are real consequences, that counties and rural fire districts cannot afford delays.
Now, if FEMA wants to change that criteria in the future, then let's have a robust discussion about it when we do so. But let's not do that during wildfire season.
And we reached out to FEMA about that denial of federal assistance on those fires. In a statement, a FEMA spokesperson wrote they, quote, didn't meet the strict thresholds at the time of the state's request. This morning, investigators are trying to figure out who and why someone shot a gun, that is, inside the Clackamas Town Center movie theater. Thursday night, deputies say they received multiple calls describing what sounded like a gunshot inside the Cinemark Theater. They evacuated the theater and say they found evidence of a single gunshot. Deputies say they briefly detained someone, but later released them. If you know anything, contact the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. One of Oregon's busiest bottle shop sites is closing. We are talking about the facility near Delta Park. The nonprofit says it has about 800 customers pass through that site daily, with many people looking for some extra cash to get by. But nearby businesses say it's hurting their bottom line. Our cameras have captured security officers kicking out people accused of doing drugs or being in distress. A nearby market owner says he's plagued with shoplifting by some of the people who use that BottleDrop.
We're just frustrated and we don't see any help at all.
Like, is every week people are trying to come in here and steal? Every month?
Almost every day.
It is sad to see that the businesses, the general population, don't want the homeless to exist anywhere. Not in my neighborhood, they always say.
With the closure of the North Portland store, BottleDrop says it's transitioning to a system using drop doors and green bags. Salem-Keizer Public Schools, Oregon's second biggest school district, is considering closing up to 8 elementary schools. It's all due to declining enrollment. District leaders say they plan to look at criteria like the age of the buildings and the cost to operate each of them. They'll release a potential list in October with a final vote by the school board in December. The closures would take effect next summer. A couple of traffic alerts for you this weekend. The Broadway Bridge will be closed to drivers for the weekend. Crews are repainting parts of the bridge. It will still be open to bikes and pedestrians. The bridge is scheduled to reopen tomorrow night at 11:30. The Hawthorne Bridge will also be closed to all traffic for most of the weekend. Crews are upgrading the electrical work on the bridge. It's scheduled to stay closed until 6 o'clock tomorrow night.